Welcome to The Choice, Episode 20. The Germanic Origins of the American Constitution. Our Germanic Origins, Part 2. I'm Kurt Doolittle. Western European, West Indo-European, or Aryan civilization begins 5,000 years ago as the economics and politics of the herders on the steppe, who sought to manage increasing numbers and organized as entrepreneurial pastoralists and warriors both. As I'll explain in detail elsewhere, the economics, ethics, and politics of cattle raiders, Vikings, and pirates is an upper caste of professional warriors, and it's deterministic. It has to emerge that way. From that Aryan political economy, we first record the Hittites and the Mycenaean Greeks, and then after the Bronze Age collapse, the Hellenic Greeks, then the Romans, and with the purest form of that Aryan political economy remaining the early state of Sparta, early Rome, Middle Athens, before we see the later Roman Empire develop the professional state from the origins as rule of law. But Germanic political civilization begins with the Frankish nobility's attempt to restore Roman order in Europe in the 600s. Anglo-civilization was part of Germanic civilization until about 1830 or so because of Napoleon's total war on European civilization, the core of it, the Holy Roman Empire of the greater German people. The Holy Roman Empire wasn't holy, it wasn't Roman, and it wasn't an empire. It was a confederation of Germanic peoples and their microstates under an emperor, under manorial law for serfs, Germanic rule for freemen, and the church as a weak judiciary for states, and the emperor as the judge of last resort. America's history is that of an Anglo branch of the Germanic people, meaning Anglo-Scandinavian Low Countries, the High, Middle, and Low German, and parts of today's Austria, France, and even Poland. The combination of the great fiction of the Enlightenment, meaning the French murder of the aristocracy, the secularization of the church, and adoption of the church's mission and bureaucracy, and the de-Germanification by the French and the Jews of our education since 1920 or so, ignores our Germanic origins. The USA was as German as English, and the Declaration and Constitution written in both languages because so many of our people spoke German. So while we tend to think of ourselves as a British or English country, and really we are, we don't realize that the British system is the traditional Germanic legal system that survived the Napoleonic destruction of German civilization and imposed the state-dominant Napoleonic legal code instead. Britain, because of her geography, her navy, her history, and her trade, like Netherlands, because of their naval trade, was merely the most politically advanced of the Germanic states when the French destroyed traditional Germanic civilization. So when the founders founded and wrote the Declaration for and Constitution of the United States, it was using the most advanced legal and political system, the British, 1,000 years of the Germanic Holy Roman Empire tradition, 1,000 years of the Roman Empire, and together 5,000 years of West Indo-European legal traditions. So the United States was organized as another member of the 1,000-year history of the Germanic peoples in the Holy Roman Empire and its satellites, England, Scandinavia, Germania, North Italy, etc., with its principal error being nothing more than George Washington's refusal to be monarch or emperor over the American microstates like the Germanic princes, kings, and emperors were of the Germanic microstates. This failure and the necessity of creating a, quote, presidency as temporary bureaucrat rather than intergenerational monarchy as a judge of last resort, leaving the governance of the states to the people therein, set the future in motion. There is no reason why we can't devolve the federal government into state, meaning inventory, treasury, meaning finance, military, meaning defense, eliminating the House, converting the Senate to a House of Governors, and correct Washington's mistake, or just move under the British throne. Because perfect government consists of a monarchy as a judge of last resort, like Elizabeth today, a professional cabinet, houses for the states, and within each state houses for the classes, doing as they may to suit their common interests. With a military treasury, interstate judiciary under strictly constructed traditional law of the European peoples, a professional cabinet approved by the governors, and a monarchy as the judge in last resort for when politics fail. That's all required to return Western civilization to its thousands of years of political excellences with low power distance, the maximum and optimum incentive for all, and to leave behind the French Catholic and Jewish Marxist counter-revolutions against the West. This is The Choice. I'm Kurt Doolittle. Thank you for listening.